To put it bluntly, economic shifts are indeed a challenge. Candidly, they can be seen as a real pain in the or, and this is where I land, they could be viewed as catalysts for reinvention. While some industries contract, others experience unprecedented growth. So the question is, how do you pivot and what's the safest way? So here are 10 things that I've found from my experience of pivoting recently from full-time to freelance. There is a common thread with all of these, and I'm curious to see if you arrive at the same conclusion by the end of this video. Alright, it's now that time. Grab a cup of something good and let's get into it. I'll link my career pivot story just up here and also in the description below if you're curious. However, before any career pivot can take place, you've got to begin with an honest inventory of your professional identity. What do you do? What are you known for? What things are you passionate about? This also goes far beyond surface-level job dissatisfaction. You'll want to get an answer to these 4 fundamental questions. Can you identify your transferable skills that maintain value across industries or the industry that you want to jump into? Can you clarify which core values are non-negotiable in your next role? Can you assess your risk tolerance during the upcoming transition period? And fourthly, can you clearly define what meaningful success looks like for you beyond just the next title or a bump in salary? Get the answer to those 4 questions and they'll serve both as your career pivot foundation and your true north compass. Secondly, the opportunities available to us right now are constantly evolving. Examples include healthcare technology, sustainable energy, AI ethics, and digital security. These are sectors showing particularly strong growth trajectories right now. That said, I would avoid chasing trends blindly. Find the sweet spot where emerging fields align with your established strengths and genuine interests. Look beyond the headlines to identify sub-niches where your specific expertise create unique value. Consider your adjacencies and how you can sidestep into them. Actually think how you can pull them into the lane that you're currently in to offer more value to what you bring. This quite nicely segues into the third observation that I've made during my career pivot, which is once you've identified a promising direction, invest in upskilling yourself. I'm sure you're probably tired of hearing me say skills are the currency for the work of tomorrow. I do know that my kids are. In today's job market, I expect adaptability is rewarded much more than static knowledge. Rather than pursuing credentials broadly, identify specific skill gaps between your current profile and your target roles. Platforms like Coursera, edX, Degreed, LinkedIn Learning, and specialized industry certifications offer precision pathways into new fields. In my view, applied skills beat theoretical knowledge hands down. Create real-world side projects that build impact, open source contributions, or community initiatives that demonstrate your capabilities in a tangible way. In other words, what I'm saying is to show your work. And if you haven't read this book, it really is a highly recommended read. In fact, there's actually 3 in the series written by Austin Kleon. I would certainly grab this one first, which is to show your work. I would then look at Stealing Like an Artist. And then thirdly, keep going. They really are a great investment. Begin to show off the new skills that you're building. Be inspired and then inspire others. Fourthly, the gig economy offers much more than just income stabilization. You can almost think of it as a low-risk laboratory for career experimentation. It will give you the means to try out contract work in a strategic way, to test drive potential new career directions before you fully commit to any of them, to also build a portfolio of evidence in emerging fields so you can show others what you're doing, establish credibility with small wins before any larger transitions, and then also to create a financial runway during your pivot journey. Platforms like Upwork and TopTool are a great investment to look into. You may also want to consider exploring other industry-specific marketplaces where specialized expertise can command premium rates. The 5th observation I've made in my career pivot so far is that your network isn't just about who you know. It's about who knows what you're capable of becoming. I'm a firm believer that inherently people do not want you to fail, especially those close to you in your network. Spend some time speaking to those who know you well and who can share insights and to help you figure out where your next set of moves is going to be. These are great individuals that I happen to call change catalysts. Professionally, I'm a huge fan and active advocate of LinkedIn, as in my experience, their platform allows you to engage in communities and discussions for your future career path, to contribute valuable insights irrespective of whether you choose to go for an opportunity or not. Also, being an active part of the platform can lead to finding mentorship from those who've navigated similar pivots before you have, and you can have strategic conversations that could reveal hidden opportunities in those adjacencies that I often refer to. Quality network connections far outweigh the quantity of network connections. In transition periods, a compelling personal brand isn't optional. It's absolutely essential. This means crafting a coherent story that connects your past experience with your future direction. I'll not deep dive into it here, however, I have created a video on this that I'll link up here and in the description, but I'll cover off 4 key things that do stand out for me, and these need to be done when you're building a personal brand. First, articulate your unique perspective on said industry challenges. Second, create content that demonstrates your evolving expertise. Third, position yourself as a bridge between different knowledge domains. And then lastly, ensure your digital presence reflects your intended destination and not just your history. Your narrative should answer the critical question, why is someone with your background uniquely positioned to add value in this new context? For point number 7, career pivots require translating your achievements into universal professional currencies. Be sure you can clearly answer not just the how or what you do, also answer why and why now as well. Your skills, be them new or honed, need to ensure they address your cross-functional capabilities, also your analytical problem-solving skills, project management and strategic project management experience, adaptive leadership capabilities, and resilience throughout previous change management circumstances. The point here is that you're showing your value right up front in the field that you're looking to pivot into. I've also observed that remote work has fundamentally expanded career pivot possibilities. This isn't just about working from home. It's about accessing opportunities regardless of geography and time zone. I recently completed a project for a US-based company, and given that I'm based in the UK, I used the time difference to my advantage to ensure that my client was happy on all fronts with the work that I delivered. Asynchronous communication and practices played a critical role to ensure that this project was delivered on time, and throughout, there were countless times where we demonstrated measurable productivity gains. There were also 1 or 2 diving saves in there as well, I'd admit. Position yourself as someone who delivers exceptional value regardless of physical location. Penultimately, successful career transitions rarely follow linear paths, so create feedback loops that help accelerate your progress. This part is about refining your approach until you finally land what you're looking for. Get regular input from industry insiders and people you trust on your approach. Refine your position based on market responses. Analyze interview outcomes for patterns rather than isolated results. Adjust your strategy based on empirical evidence and not just intuition or gut feel. View each interaction as valuable data rather than a final judgment. 10th and finally, and probably the most challenging in any career transition, this will test both your finances and, moreover, your mindset. Financially, you can cut back to ensure that you get the most out of your pounds and pence. It certainly was in my case. Multiple income streams or income diversification was one of the choices that I made to ensure that I could provide financial stability for Team Norf. I set clear metrics to evaluate my progress beyond just starting up a freelance business. From a mindset perspective, and I've done this and will continue to do this, I've established supportive accountability partnerships with others who know me, who will be able to guide me and help me navigate all there is throughout this change. Career pivots are marathons, they're not sprints. So if that's the case, pace yourself accordingly, find your groove, and be sure to pivot with purpose. Economic uncertainty doesn't have to derail your career trajectory. By approaching your pivot with strategic intent rather than it being fear-based or reactive and flexing and adjusting where you need to, you can position yourself for maximum career success in any emerging opportunities. I mentioned the thread right at the beginning of this video, so in my mind, the most valuable skill when it comes to any career pivot is adaptability. Darwin nailed it, and I'll paraphrase. It's not the strongest of the species that survives, nor is it the most intelligent, but it's the one that is most adaptable or responsive to change. What's your next move? Where will your pivot land you? I would love to know. Do let me know in the comments. All the best of luck with your career pivot. Do let me know what's going on. I would love to support you. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.